All right, picture this. You step outside on a freezing morning, feel that bitter wind hit your face, and wonder, how did winter actually start? Well, today, we're not talking about meteorology. We're diving into an ancient Greek tale of deception, sorrow, and a completely ruthless god taking exactly what he wanted. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're turning a simple natural phenomenon into an absolutely heartbreaking, high-stakes, divine drama.
Part 1. The Ruler of the Underworld. To really get this drama, we've got to understand our antagonist. So Hades, his name literally translates to the Unsane One. He was the eldest son of the Titans Cronus and Rhea. And get this, after he and his siblings fought this brutal 10-year war to overthrow the Titans, they basically drew lots to divide up the universe. Zeus gets the sky, Poseidon gets the sea, and Hades, well, he drew the short straw and got the misty, gloomy underworld. He wasn't necessarily this cackling evil villain we see in pop culture, but rather a strict, unyielding god of absolute order. And he took his job so seriously that he practically never left his subterranean kingdom.
Which brings us to part 2, the abduction in Nysa. Because our story actually kicks off up in the vibrant, sunlit surface world. Picture the scene. You've got Persephone, the daughter of Zeus, and the agriculture goddess Demeter just innocently picking flowers in the blooming fields of Nysa. Out of nowhere, the ground literally splits wide open. Hades erupts from the earth in a chariot pulled by black horses and just snatches her away into the dark. But here is the wild twist straight from the source texts. This wasn't entirely a random kidnapping. Her own father, Zeus, had secretly given Persephone to Hades to be his wife, entirely behind her and her mother's backs. Talk about a family betrayal, right?
And that leads right into part 3, the curse of Demeter. Because when Demeter realizes her daughter has been stolen, her reaction is earth-shattering.
As the goddess of agriculture, her overwhelming grief quickly twists into a fiery, destructive rage against the very earth she's supposed to protect. Before the abduction, the world was fertile, right? Bursting with life. But under Demeter's curse, she deliberately unleashes a catastrophic famine. Crops wither, the soil turns to barren dust, and suddenly, humanity is staring down total extinction.
Her ultimatum was absolutely terrifying. The ancient texts tell us, quote, the earth would remain barren until she saw her daughter again, end quote. Those are some insane stakes. The other gods up on Mount Olympus are panicking. They're coming down one by one, basically begging Demeter to lift the curse. Why? Because mortals are starving, and without humans, the gods don't get their precious sacrifices. But Demeter, she shuts them all down, fiercely.
So, with the mortal world on the brink of complete collapse, we hit part 4, the mission of Hermes.
Zeus realizes his little secret deal has completely backfired. He's got no choice but to stage a desperate intervention. He sends the messenger god Hermes deep into the underworld. Hermes finds Hades chilling on his dark couch with a captive Persephone right there next to him and delivers Zeus's absolute command to let her go. So the massive question hanging in the gloomy air is, will the stubborn, uncompromising Lord of the Dead actually listen?
Surprisingly, there's no yelling, no big fight. Hades just turns to Persephone and smoothly says, "Go now, Persephone, to your dark-robed mother, for I shall be no unfitting husband for you among the deathless gods." He casually reminds her that, hey, he's Zeus's own brother, and promises her immense power and rights as his queen. It is a chillingly calm, agreeable response from a guy who usually takes absolutely zero prisoners.
But, never underestimate the Lord of the Underworld. Let's look at part 5, the pomegranate seed, a permanent trick. Let's break down exactly how he pulls this off, because it happens incredibly fast. Step 1, Hades formally agrees to let Persephone leave. Step 2, in this tiny, almost invisible gesture, he secretly slips her a pomegranate seed and forces her to eat it. And step 3, almost immediately Hermes grabs the reins of the chariot and they are racing back to the surface world, landing right at Demeter's temple in Eleusis.
Now imagine this reunion. Mother and daughter finally see each other outside the temple, and they run into this desperate, joyous embrace. But Demeter knows the ancient, unbreakable laws of the underworld. Her joy instantly snaps into frantic panic. She looks at her daughter and asks this incredibly tense question. "My child, tell me, surely you have not tasted any food while you were below. Speak out and hide nothing."
And bam! Here is the crushing blow of our drama. Persephone looks right back at her mother and confesses that, yes, Hades forced her to eat the food of the dead. By swallowing that one single tiny pomegranate seed, she has unknowingly bound herself to the Lord of the Dead permanently. Because the law down in the unseen realm is absolute. If you eat anything in the underworld, you belong to it forever.
This creates a total, impossible cosmic stalemate. Which brings us to part 6, the birth of the seasons.
Demeter absolutely refuses to let the earth bloom if her daughter stays below, and Hades refuses to give up a wife bound to him by ancient law. So Zeus has to broker this grand compromise to balance life and death, and it all comes down to a simple fraction, 1/3. Because she ate that seed, Persephone is forced to spend exactly 1/3 of every single year down in the gloomy underworld, ruling as queen alongside her husband. So for that 1/3 of the year, Persephone descends into the dark, and Demeter grieves. The ancient texts literally call this a time of sadness and mourning, creating the cold, barren season we know as winter. But for the other 2/3 of the year, Persephone comes back to Earth. Demeter's immense joy literally restores the world, and boom, the earth blooms once again with the fragrant flowers of spring.
Which brings us back to where we started. The ancient Greeks didn't look at the frost on the ground or bare, shivering trees as just weather. They saw the physical remnants of an incredibly profound, dramatic narrative. So, I'll leave you with this question. Is winter just a season, or is it the eternal echo of a mother mourning her stolen daughter? Kind of changes how you look at the first snowfall, doesn't it? Thanks for diving into this explainer with me. Keep wondering and keep exploring.